Isolating yeast and bacteria at home is incredibly easy. So I'm going to make it very, very simple today. My name is Nick. Welcome to DIY Biotech. I have a PhD in bioengineering and I've worked a year in the biotech field in synthetic biology. I did genetic engineering in yeast. I love yeast and I'm going to simplify it for you. You do not need a fancy advanced degree to do something like this. So whether you're currently looking to work in a biology lab or you just want to do these kinds of experiments at home, this video is for you. I have a lot of other videos on the channel if you want to see details, but I just want to show you how easy this is, and I'll take pictures and upload these. But this is just from an orange tree. It says orange blossom, but there's a bunch of little colonies on this plate. This is from some soil. You can see there's a bunch of smears and things like that. So it's literally as easy as this. You do need petri dishes, but I'll talk about that in a second. So this is a blank petri dish. There's just a little condensation on the lid there. So I'm gonna take one of these sterile tips. This is a sterile Q-tip. I'm gonna take it out and it opens on the wooden end, and then there's the cotton swab end on that side. So I'm just gonna gently pull it out, making sure not to touch the tip to my fingers or anything that I don't want to sample. So I'm going to take it and we'll just go on this leaf right here. Swab, 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 swab. This is exactly what I did on that first place that I showed you. Swab around a little bit, swab around a little bit here. Super easy. Okay, now here's the swab and here's the plate. I'm just going to open the plate and swab around. And I'm also rotating the Q-tip so that I get all of that contact area onto the dish. Now, you really don't want to talk while you're doing this so you don't get any contamination from your mouth onto the plate, and you really don't want the dish open for too long or you'll have sort of environmental samples. If you're being really precise about this, you would do one petri dish that you swab and another one that you just leave open for the same amount of time as a control. But that's kind of crazy. We don't need to do anything like that. So that's it. You can buy these petri dishes online. I'll leave links for everything in the description. They're affiliate links. They help me out a little bit, but not really. It's just the easiest way to transmit the information. And then these are the Q-tips. You can buy these. These are really cheap. These are really cheap. If you want to make your own petri dishes, I would highly recommend doing that over purchasing petri dishes. I have videos on my channel on how to do that, but for these plates, I just use this nutrient agar, which really is more for bacteria than for yeast. But this has all of the nutrients as well as the agar so that it actually sets into a gel. So you don't have to buy multiple ingredients. It makes it really easy. You can get fancy and put it in a flask if you want to, but you could just use a mason jar. You want to use, in this scenario, I use 250 milliliters of distilled water. You should probably use distilled water and not tap water. And then I think it was like a little over 5 grams of this. And then I put it in my Instant Pot. If you have a pressure cooker, you can use that, but an Instant Pot is the same thing as a pressure cooker, is the same thing as an autoclave, really. You really want to get to 121 Celsius for like 30 minutes. So in the Instant Pots, they don't quite get to that same pressure as an autoclave, so I usually just do double the time. So I'll do an hour or an hour and a half to really make sure everything is dead. And it's never as good as the autoclave, but it's pretty darn close. So that's really cool. That's how you make the petri dishes. Then you take them out and you just pour them. Let me talk to you about one thing that's really important when you're isolating yeast or bacteria, and that is selection. No matter what you're doing, you're having some sort of selection, and you just need to be mindful of that. So like I mentioned, this nutrient agar really is made for bacteria. For yeast, you want to use YPD or yeast peptone dextrose. So you're going to have some selection effect. My selection effect here is I used a nutrient agar and I used some antibiotic. So I had an antibiotic solution as a little tip. If you're prescribed, whatever amount of antibiotic you're prescribed is the same amount you should put per liter of culture volume. So if you're prescribed 100 milligrams of penicillin a day, that would be 100 milligrams per liter. General rule of thumb, do not use prescription medicines for biology, but I'll put that out there. So I used some antibiotic here. This was laboratory grade antibiotic made for microbiology, obviously. And what that does, believe it or not, antibiotics kill bacteria. They don't kill fungi, because I wanted to isolate yeast and not bacteria. Even though I used a media that was best for bacteria, this will still grow yeast. So my selection pressure is I just want yeast. Really what I want is a red yeast in the genus Rhodoterola, because I'll do a video in the future where I show you how to very easily at home mutate yeast, random mutagenesis. So we're going to try to knock out that red production pathway in the red yeast. So subscribe for that if you want to see that video in the future. Some other ideas for selection that you could do is you could add salt. So if you want to grow something in seawater, you can add salt. If you want, something that produces a lot of oil, there might be selection methods for that. If you want something that can grow in really high sugar concentrations, you can add a lot of sugar to the plate. This is where you're going to do interesting microbiology, when you can do this very simple selection to find the cool yeast that you want. So really think about what yeast you want and how you're going to apply selective pressure to get that yeast or bacteria. So be mindful of your selection. You know how to make the petri dishes, you know how to streak the yeast. The next thing that I'm going to recommend is, once you do have the yeast that you want, you see there's little dots of colonies, and you might be able to see the red one. I'll put up an image hopefully. But there are some red yeast on this plate already, so first try, nothing to it. I sampled 5 different conditions, 5 different environments, and I wanted a red yeast, and on one of the plates I got a red yeast in just 3 days of growth at room temperature. That's another selection method, by the way. You could grow them at really high temperature or really low temperature and see what yeast survives. So you have your yeast, but you're probably gonna have a bunch of mold or other creatures growing on the plate. Like this really fluffy one is some sort of mold. It's also a fungi, so it's resistant to antibiotics. But a lot of the other colonies are probably yeast. So that's a mess on the plate. To actually get the yeast that you want, you need to do something called re-streaking. So what I have here are sterile pipette tips. So I reloaded this rack and put it in the pressure cooker to sterilize that, but you can buy sterile pipette tips or sterile swabs, or there's a lot of other things you could use. Then I just have this very simple alcohol lamp. This is just 100% ethanol, and it's got a little wick to it. And then I have a lighter. That's it. Really, you should use gloves and spray everything down with ethanol. But all we're gonna do here is take the yeast that we want, and we're gonna streak it on the plate. And I have other videos on my channel on how to do that. So again, I have a lot of experience, so I'm doing this outside, which is not ideal, and I'm talking while I'm doing it, which is not ideal, and I'm not wearing gloves, but do as I say, not as I do, right? You notice how I shut up? I shut up when the plate's open. That's really important. So you saw what I did is I took the tip and I did streak, 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 and I rotated the tip, streak, 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 streak. So I pulled from the previous streaks and then did new streaks, rotate the tip again, pulled from that previous streak, and streak, streak, streak. For all of those different, this is called a streak plate, very fundamental biological technique. But ideally you should be getting a new tip every time. So I'll show you what that looks like to properly do it. That's it. That's it. Super easy peasy. I was hunting around on this plate to find a good colony. You don't want the colony to be touching other colonies. If you really see something that you want and it's touching other colonies, then you definitely need to do this streak plate to try to isolate it, because hopefully on this streak plate, you'll get individual colonies. And maybe I'll post a picture of that to this video when these have grown out. I think the best way you can support me if you enjoy this type of stuff is to become a channel member. That's kind of cool if you can do that. If you can't afford it, please don't. If you're a student struggling, please don't give me your money. I don't want it. Instead, you can leave a nice comment below or a suggestion for a future video. Like the video, of course. Subscribe to the channel for more. I will be mutating this red yeast in future videos. I will also show you how to sequence the yeast and figure out what kind of yeast you actually have. I think that one will be really fun. So stay tuned for more. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.